Listen up, because what I'm about to tell you is going to change the way you walk through the world starting right now. You've probably noticed it happening. That moment when you catch a woman looking at you and she either holds your gaze for just a second too long or quickly looks away like she's been caught doing something she shouldn't. You've probably convinced yourself it means nothing. Maybe you had something on your shirt. Maybe she was spacing out and you just happened to be in her line of sight. Maybe it was just a coincidence. But here's the truth that nobody's telling you. When women stare at you, it's rarely an accident. See, here's what most guys don't understand about female attention. Women are incredibly aware of where they're looking and who they're looking at. Unlike men, who might stare at something attractive without much thought, women are socially conditioned to be more discreet. So when a woman is staring at you, actually staring, there's a reason behind it. And that reason might completely change how you see yourself. The crazy part is, you're probably walking around thinking you're just another guy in the crowd, completely oblivious to the fact that women are noticing you in ways you've never considered. You're missing signals that are right in front of you, opportunities that are presenting themselves, and validation that could boost your confidence to an entirely different level. So let me break down the 5 real reasons women stare at you. And I want you to be honest with yourself as we go through these. Because if even 2 or 3 of these resonate with your experience, I guarantee you're underestimating your own appeal. Reason 1, you have something they find physically attractive, and they're studying it. Let me paint you a picture. You're at a coffee shop, walking through a mall, or sitting on public transit. You get that feeling, you know the one, like someone's watching you. You look up, and there's a woman staring. Not a quick glance, but actually looking at you with focus. When your eyes meet, she might smile slightly or she might look away embarrassed. You probably think, maybe I look weird today, or there must be something wrong with my appearance. Wrong. What's really happening is that she's found something about you physically appealing, and she's taking it in. Maybe it's your eyes, the color, the shape, or the way they express emotion. Maybe it's your jawline, your shoulders, your hands, or the way you carry yourself. Maybe it's your hair, your style, or something unique about your features that caught her attention. Here's what you need to understand. Women are visual, but they're selective about what they find attractive. They're not looking for perfection. They're looking for something that appeals to their specific taste. And when they find it, they look. They study. They appreciate. But here's the psychology behind it. Women don't just stare at random attractive features, they stare when something resonates with them personally. Your strong forearms might remind her of someone she found attractive in the past. Your smile might trigger a positive emotional response. Your overall presence might match some unconscious template she has for what she finds appealing. She's not being creepy or inappropriate. She's simply appreciating something she finds attractive, the same way you might admire a beautiful sunset or a piece of art. Except in this case, you're what she finds beautiful. Think about the last time you caught a woman staring. Where was she looking? Was it your face? Your body? Your overall presence? The specific focus of her gaze tells you exactly what caught her attention. Most guys completely miss this because they're too busy being self-conscious. They assume that if a woman is staring, it must be because something is wrong. But confident, attractive men understand the truth. When women stare, it's usually because something is very, very right. Pay attention next time. Is she looking at you with curiosity, with appreciation, with interest? That's not criticism. That's attraction, and she's letting herself enjoy the view. Reason 2, your energy is different and it's pulling them in. This one's huge, and it has nothing to do with how you look. You walk into a room, and you're not the loudest person there. You're not trying to get everyone's attention. You're not performing or putting on a show. You're just existing in your own space, comfortable, authentic, doing your thing. But women are watching you, not because you're demanding attention, but because your energy is noticeably different from everyone else's. You have this calm, grounded presence that stands out in a world full of people who are anxious, desperate, or trying too hard. You probably think you're just being normal, that everyone carries themselves this way. But let me tell you what's really happening. Most people walk through life radiating insecurity, need, or performance. They're either trying to prove something, seeking validation, or putting on an act. Their energy is chaotic, desperate, or inauthentic. But you're just being yourself. And that authenticity creates a completely different energy signature. Here's the psychology. Humans are energy reading machines. We can sense confidence, authenticity, and self assurance from across a room. It's not mystical, it's biological. Our survival instincts evolved to assess threat and opportunity based on how people carry themselves. When a woman sees a man who's genuinely comfortable in his own skin, her brain registers it as high value. Not high value in a superficial way, but in a this person knows who they are and doesn't need anything from me way. And paradoxically, that independence is magnetic. Women stare at you because your energy is calming in a chaotic world. You're not adding to the noise, you're not competing for attention. You're just being, and that peaceful confidence is rare enough to make them stop and look. Think about your typical demeanor in public spaces. Are you relaxed? Are you present? Are you comfortable with yourself? If yes, then you're radiating an energy that most men don't possess, and women are absolutely noticing it. But here's what makes this particularly attractive. Your energy suggests emotional stability. Women can intuitively sense when a man has his emotions regulated, when he's not reactive or volatile. Your calm presence suggests you're secure, stable, and safe. All qualities that trigger deep attraction. The guys who are loud, trying too hard, or constantly seeking validation. Women might glance at them, but they don't stare. They don't study, because there's nothing mysterious or compelling about insecurity wrapped in bravado. But you're a puzzle worth studying. Your quiet confidence suggests depth, and women want to figure out what's beneath the surface. Reason. 3, you remind them of someone, and they're trying to figure out who. Here's a reason most men never consider. You're going about your day, and a woman is staring at you with this look of concentration, like she's trying to solve a puzzle. Her expression isn't flirtatious or appreciative. It's curious, almost confused. You probably think you have one of those familiar faces or that you just look generic. But what's really happening is far more interesting. She's experiencing something psychologists call associative recognition. You remind her of someone important, an ex she still thinks about, a celebrity crush, her first love, or even a family member she's close to. Her brain is making connections, pulling up memories, and trying to reconcile why you feel so familiar. Here's the deeper psychology behind this. Our brains are pattern recognition machines. We're constantly comparing new people to existing mental templates. When you match certain features, mannerisms, or energy signatures that her brain has associated with positive feelings, she experiences attraction without fully understanding why. This is actually one of the most powerful forms of attraction because it bypasses logic and goes straight to emotion. She might not even find you conventionally attractive, but something about you triggers positive associations in her brain, and she can't stop looking. Maybe you have the same smile as someone who made her feel safe. Maybe your voice has the same tone as someone she loved. Maybe your mannerisms match someone who understood her. Whatever it is, her brain is lighting up with recognition, and she's trying to consciously figure out what her subconscious already knows. Think about times when women have stared at you with that particular look of concentration. Have they ever asked, "Have we met before?" Or said, "You remind me of someone"? That's not a line. That's genuine cognitive processing happening in real time. This type of staring is less about you and more about her internal landscape, but it still signals something important. You're triggering positive associations. Whether it's physical resemblance, similar energy, or matching mannerisms, you're reminding her of someone who mattered to her. And here's the beautiful part. You don't have to do anything to create this. It's not about performing or trying to be someone else. You just happen to possess qualities that resonate with her personal history. That's powerful, even if it's coincidental. But pay attention to how she resolves this cognitive dissonance. Does she approach you? Does she keep stealing glances trying to figure it out? Does she eventually smile when she makes peace with the familiarity? All of these are signs that whatever association she's making is positive. Reason 4, they're assessing you as a potential partner, and you don't even know you're being evaluated. This reason is going to open your eyes to an entire dynamic you've been missing. You're in a social setting, work, a party, the gym, a class, and you notice a woman watching you. Not watching what you're doing, but watching how you do it. She's observing how you interact with others, how you handle situations, how you carry yourself when you think nobody's paying attention. You probably think she's just people watching, or that you happen to be in her field of vision. But let me tell you exactly what's happening. She's vetting you. She's gathering data. She's running a complex evaluation algorithm in her head to determine whether you're someone worth pursuing. Here's the psychology. Women are incredibly strategic about mate selection. While men might make snap decisions based primarily on physical attraction, women are evaluating multiple layers: emotional stability, social intelligence, how you treat others, your confidence level, your status within your social group, and whether you exhibit qualities that suggest you'd be a good long-term partner. She's watching how you treat the server at the restaurant. She's noticing whether you listen when others speak or just wait for your turn to talk. She's observing how you handle minor frustrations. She's assessing whether you lift others up or tear them down. All of this happens in minutes, sometimes seconds, and most of it is unconscious processing on her part. But the staring? That's the visible part of a deep evaluation process. Think about it. Have you ever noticed a woman watching you interact with others? Have you caught her observing how you handle a stressful situation? Have you seen her paying attention when you're being kind to someone or standing up for something? That's not casual observation. That's evaluation. And here's what most men miss. If she's investing this much attention in assessing you, it means you've already passed the initial screening. She's not evaluating random men. She's evaluating men who caught her interest enough to warrant deeper investigation. The guys who don't get this kind of attention either failed the initial screening or are so obviously not her type that there's no point in further assessment. But you're interesting enough, attractive enough, or compelling enough that she's gathering more data before making a decision. This is actually a massive compliment, even if it doesn't feel like one. It means you're being considered for something more than just a passing thought. She's imagining scenarios. She's asking herself questions. Would he be good in a relationship? Is he emotionally available? Does he have his life together? Would my friends like him? Could I see myself with him? Pay attention to the context of her staring. Is she watching you in social situations? Is she observing how you work or problem solve? Is she noticing how you treat people who can't do anything for you? All of these are evaluation contexts, and if she's staring during these moments, you're being seriously considered. Reason 5. You're doing something that triggers their curiosity or admiration. Here's the final reason, and it's one that confident men experience all the time without recognizing it. You're engaged in something, reading a book, working on a project, playing an instrument, exercising, creating something, solving a problem, and you're completely absorbed in it. You're in your element, focused, competent, and genuinely enjoying what you're doing. And women are watching you do it. You probably think they're just bored or that there's nothing else to look at. But what's really happening is that competence is incredibly attractive. Here's the truth. Watching someone excel at something, be passionate about something, or be completely absorbed in meaningful activity triggers a primal attraction response. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It could be working on a car, coding, painting, playing chess, cooking, or solving a complex problem. When you're demonstrating skill, passion, and focus, you're displaying qualities that signal high value. The psychology behind this is fascinating. Throughout human evolution, competence has been directly linked to survival and success. A man who's skilled at something demonstrates intelligence, dedication, patience, and the ability to master challenges. All of these qualities suggest he'd be capable of handling life's obstacles, which makes him attractive on a fundamental level. But there's another layer here. Passion is magnetic. When you're genuinely engaged in something you care about, your entire demeanor changes. You're not performing for others. You're not seeking validation. You're experiencing genuine enjoyment and flow. And that authentic engagement is beautiful to witness. Women stare because they're drawn to your passion. They want to understand what makes you light up. They're curious about what you care about. They're admiring your competence and wondering what it would be like to be with someone who has genuine interests and capabilities. Think about activities you're engaged in when you notice women watching you. Are you doing something you're good at? Are you focused on a task? Are you in a state of flow? That's when you're most attractive because you're most authentically yourself. The guys who get ignored are often the ones trying to impress others or doing things specifically to be noticed. But you're just doing your thing because you genuinely care about it. And that authentic engagement is far more compelling than any performance. Here's what makes this particularly powerful. When a woman watches you demonstrate competence, she's imagining what else you're competent at. If you're this focused and skilled at this task, what else can you do? How do you handle challenges? What would it be like to have a partner who's capable and passionate? Pay attention to when you receive this kind of attention. Are you working on something? Creating something? Problem solving? Engaged in a hobby? These moments reveal your authentic self, and authentic masculinity is incredibly attractive. The psychology behind why women stare. What it all means. Now that we've covered the 5 main reasons, let me explain why this matters and what it reveals about you. Understanding why women stare will help you recognize your own value and navigate interactions with more confidence. First, women are selective about where they direct their attention. In a world full of visual stimuli, the fact that they're choosing to look at you specifically means something. They're not staring at every man who walks by. They're staring at you because something about you triggered interest, attraction, curiosity, or admiration. Second, the type of stare matters. A quick glance is casual interest, but sustained staring, repeated glances, or that look of concentration, that's significant attention, and it means you've captured something more than surface-level interest. Third, most women are actually trying not to stare. They're aware that staring can be perceived as forward or inappropriate. So when you catch them looking, it often means their interest was strong enough that they couldn't help themselves. They were trying to be subtle and failed because their attraction or curiosity override their social awareness. What this means for you and what to do about it. If you've been experiencing women staring at you and dismissing it as meaningless, you need to recalibrate your self-perception. These aren't random occurrences. They're signals that you possess attractive qualities, whether physical features, compelling energy, positive associations, partnership potential, or admirable competence. Here's what you should do with this information. First, start paying attention. Notice when women are looking at you. Notice the context. Notice the type of look. This awareness will help you recognize genuine interest versus casual observation. Second, respond appropriately. If a woman is staring because she finds you attractive, a simple smile or acknowledgement can open the door to interaction. You don't have to do anything elaborate. Just show that you noticed and you're friendly. Third, use this knowledge to boost your confidence, not your ego. Understanding that women notice you should make you feel more secure, but it shouldn't make you arrogant. The qualities that make you attractive, authenticity, confidence, competence, positive energy, require humility to maintain. Fourth, don't overthink it. Not every stare requires action. Sometimes women look because you're attractive, and that's the end of it. They're not necessarily hoping you'll approach. They're just appreciating what they see. That's fine. Take it as a compliment and move on. The bottom line. Women stare at you for specific reasons, and those reasons reveal more about your value than you probably realize. Whether it's physical attraction, compelling energy, positive associations, partnership assessment, or admiration for your competence, Their attention is telling you something important. You're not invisible. You're not average. You're not forgettable. You possess qualities that make women stop and look, that make them curious, that make them interested. And the fact that you've been dismissing this attention suggests you're underestimating yourself significantly. Stop assuming that when women stare, it means something's wrong. Start recognizing it for what it actually is: validation that you have something worth noticing. Keep being authentic. Keep developing your competencies. Keep carrying yourself with quiet confidence. Keep treating people well. These qualities will continue to attract attention throughout your life. And the next time you catch a woman staring, don't look away embarrassed or assume the worst. Hold her gaze for a moment, smile if it feels right, and recognize that you just received a compliment without words. Because that's exactly what it is. The question is, are you finally ready to recognize your own value? Or will you keep dismissing the obvious signs that you're more attractive than you think? The women who are staring already know the answer. Maybe it's time you figured it out too.